Tonight, you're going to do something your great great grandparents could not do. You might not notice it, you probably won't think about it at all. But somewhere in your body, a quiet change is happening, one that has been building for thousands of years and it's still not finished. Evolution did not stop, it never stopped. Most people picture evolution as something that happened to creatures in textbooks. Hunched apes straightening their spines, fish crawling onto land, things that took millions of years and ended somewhere around the time humans invented fire. But that is not how it works. Evolution is a process, not a destination. And right now, today, your body is mid sentence in a story it has been writing since before language existed. Here is the strangest part. You can feel it. You just do not recognize it for what it is. Start with your wisdom teeth. There is a decent chance you either had them removed or never had them at all. Anthropologist Alan Mann at Princeton spent decades studying jaw fossils from early human ancestors. What he found is that roughly 35% of modern humans are not born without one or more wisdom teeth. Not because of surgery, because the gene that codes for them is switching off across the population. Your jaw is getting smaller as your diet gets softer, and evolution is quietly dropping the parts you no longer need. This is not ancestor history. This is happening to people alive right now. Your body is not the finished product, it is the draft. Look at the palmaris longus muscle, the thin tendon that runs down the center of your forearm. Press your thumb to your pinky and flex your wrist. See that raised ridge? Some of you do, some of you absolutely do not. About 14% of people are born without it on one or both arms, and the number of that is climbing. The palmaris longus helped your distant ancestors grip branches. Your body has been phasing it out of for so long that surgeons now harvest it for reconstructive procedures without any loss of function because your hand works perfectly without it. Evolution already knew this. It started removing it before you were born. This is the thing about natural selection that most people misunderstood. It does not wait for you to need something before it builds it. And it does not wait for you to stop needing something before it starts removing it. It is always running, always testing, always pruning and adding, even when you cannot feel a thing. Genetist Sarah Tiskoff at the University of Pennsylvania has spent years mapping the genetic signatures of populations across Africa, and what she found rewired how scientists think about the speed of evolution. In African pastoralist groups, people whose ancestors have herded cattle for thousands of years, a mutation that allows adults to digest lactose spread through the population in roughly 7,000 years. That is not a long time. That is not even a blip on the evolutionary clock. And yet it happened. It is still happening in populations around the world at different rates, depending on what people eat, where they live, and how old their food traditions are. Your body is not adapting to the ancient world. It is adapting to right now. Consider your immune system. Evolutionary biologist Paradis Sabati at Harvard has traced how some genes responsible for immune response, specifically around malaria resistance, show some of the strongest recent selection signals in the entire human genome. In certain populations, these genes have spread with extraordinary speed over just a few thousand years. The pressure is real, the response is real, and it is still ongoing. But here is where it gets strange for you, personally, because most of the evolution happening right now is invisible. It is not in your muscle or your teeth or your immune cells alone. It is in how your body talks to the world. Research into the human microbiome, the trillions of bacteria living in your gut, has revealed that this system is evolving in real time too. The bacteria that help you for digest processed food, resist certain diseases, even regulate your mood. These populations are shifting across generations. When your great grandparents carried in their gut is meaningfully different from what you carry in yours. You are a walking ecosystem in transition, and it does not stop at biology. The structures that evolution built for one purpose are constantly being repurposed. Your brain, the same brain that evolved to track prey across a savanna, to read social hierarchies, to remember where the water was, is now being used to scroll through a phone, to process hundreds of faces in a day, to read words in a language that did not exist 1500 years ago. Evolutionary psychologist David Gary at the University of Missouri calls this biological plasticity, the body and brain finding new uses for old hardware while the hardware itself slowly updates. The update is slow, the repurposing is fast, and that gap between how fast your environment changes and how fast your body catches up is the tension you feel every day without knowing what to call it. You're not tired because you're weak. You're tired because your nervous system evolved for a world that no longer exists and it is running ancient software on a modern schedule. You're not anxious because something is wrong with you. You're anxious because your threat detection system was built for a world where most threats were physical, immediate, and solvable. And now it is being asked to process threats that are invisible, chronic, and unreasonable by running or fighting. Your body is doing its best, but it is mid evolution. This is the piece most people miss. They think of themselves as finished as the result, but you are not the result, you are the process. You are what 300,000 years of Homo sapiens looks like right now, in the particular moment, under these particular pressures. Your descendants, if the species survives long enough, will have different teeth, possibly different gut bacteria, possibly different immune responses. They will have evolved away from you, just as you have evolved away from the people who came before, and they will probably not notice either. So, tonight, your body will keep doing what it has always done. Your cells will divide, your immune system will respond, your gut will process, and somewhere quietly in the genetic code that you will or will not pass on, the next chapter of the human history is being written. Not in dramatic leap, not in sudden transformation, but in the slow, patient, relentless math of survival. The same math that has been running since the first cell divided in the dark. You started this thinking evolution was something in a textbook, something finished, something past. But tonight, while you sleep, your body is still in the middle of the sentence, and no one knows yet how it ends.